like probably half the things that I think are like Italian experiences are just me growing up.
What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good, man.
Thanks for coming. Do you want something to drink, coffee or beer, or?
Might as well have a beer. I've been beering it up.
All right, Nate.
Yo,
We're going.
we're
Doing it.
live.
Finally, we're live.
I'm glad we finally made this happen.
Finally, podcast beers. I'm drinking Messina.
I'm drinking Raffo.
These are that's not non-filtered, right?
Yeah. These are both Southern domestics.
Southern domestics. This is Birra Messina from Sicily. This is with the Cristalli di Sale, so it's got like salt crystals.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Whatever that means. The other one is a yellow label. And then the Raffo, which is from Taranto in Puglia, I think like the standard one is a white label, but the yellow one is...
I learned about that beer because when I was down if you go to the beach near Taranto, those like the, whatever, that just typical...
like a red, white, and blue label.
That little bottle is still like €1 or €2.
Whoa. That's like the Peroni of Puglia, I guess.
Even more. It's like the water of Puglia. Cheers.
Here's one thing, speaking of things I wish Italians would get on board with. I wish they would chill the beer glasses. They don't have to be frozen, but at least like in a fridge. And the beers themselves are not, I want it ice cold. They're so comfortable with like kind of cold beer.
Before I ever came to Italy, my mom was like, get ready. They don't put their beer in the fridge. It's not cold. All beer is warm, which is not true.
It's not true. It's definitely not warm.
It was cold. So like, I don't really care. I used to care about that stuff.
We've been here a long time. How long have you been?
Yeah. 15 years since I moved back here to stay.
And when was your first time in Italy?
2005. So 20 years ago. Yeah. I came to study abroad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Study
just
Italian
a semester, just whatever I could do.
Okay.
There was like art classes and stuff. I had a music, they call it an emphasis for my overall fine arts degree.
Okay.
But there was no real music. So I just took a bunch of drawing and painting classes and stuff.
Okay.
And then I loved it so much in Florence that I came back. It was my senior year. I was supposed to do a semester, but it wasn't enough for me. So I came back for another semester and then stayed for a summer semester and just finished out all my credits, taking like painting and drawing. And I don't know how to do that stuff, but that's literally, I have my degree in that now.
Your degree is what?
Like fine arts with an emphasis in visual art. It's like drawing and painting. So I'm supposed to be a painter,
but instead you make musical.
I still
art
make music
of
art. Yeah,
visual art. Well,
I can't draw anything. It's like if you got what's your degree in?
Mechanical engineering.
It's like if you got your degree in mechanical engineering, but you don't even. Well, I don't know what do you do in mechanical engineering? What do you You don't know anything about engineering.
It's like me right now.
Mechanics.
It's like write about Italy, travel, and do citizen.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, college, go to college, stay in school, kids. It helps.
It does help. I still think it was worth it. You're from Montana.
Yeah.
Where in Montana?
Bozeman.
And what is Bozeman famous for? Because I don't know, other than a little bit we talked about yesterday.
It's not famous.
Oh, well, okay. Next topic.
You asked what it was famous for.
Well, then they shoot a lot of...
What is it known for?
What is it known for?
It's not known.
But then they like filmed Yellowstone there or something?
They shot some Yellowstone scenes. That's where they go in Yellowstone when they're like, let's go to Bozeman. I don't know I think they say that a couple times. So like, we're going to Bozeman.
Okay.
We got to go to Bozeman. I don't know. Stuff like that.
Clearly you've watched
That's the town.
Well, I know like The Walking Dead, they filmed mostly in Georgia, in one town, Sonoya, near Noonan.
Hmm.
Now it's just got like all this Walking Dead tourism.
No, we don't have that in Bozeman. There's a few places in Montana that have some Yellowstone lore now, because like like the actual ranch where they have the famous Dutton Yellowstone Ranch that exists somewhere in Montana, and people go there. But no, Bozeman has other reasons for existing, like it's a college town.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be more Montana, old timey. When I was a kid,
like saloons and
yeah, every like
tumbleweeds and
swinging doors. You like the two, yeah,
shootouts.
We still got the shootouts. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been in a shootout?
Nah.
Have you witnessed one?
Nah. I stay away from. I always stayed away from fights.
Okay.
In general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, that's
I've never
changed.
been in a fight.
Never been in a fight?
Yeah, has not changed. Look for fights now. That's why I moved to Italy.
Exactly.
Because I knew I could win more fights here. Montana, I could never win a fight. You kidding?
No.
Anyone that's willing to get in a fight with you in Montana, it's probably someone you shouldn't fight.
Shouldn't be in a fight. They all think they're the toughest guy in Bozeman.
I mean, I don't know. But even if you think you could fight somebody and you're not afraid to fight somebody, I feel like maybe in America in general, you're probably kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't. Basically, just don't fight is the message. Don't fight people.
Yeah.
So you came back to Italy. At that point, you were done with school. Or that's when you came back to do more credits.
No, yeah. I went back when I came back in 2010. No, I was done.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your motivation for coming back was what?
Because I knew I wanted to live here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it about it that attracted you to where you were like, I could actually live there?
When I knew it was like, this is where I wanted to actually live and stay. It was what it was I don't know. I can't tell you what it was. It wasn't any specific thing. But I knew when I was back in Seattle, 25 years old, 26 years old, messing around, doing what people do when they're, I don't know, mid-20s, late 20s in Seattle. And it was so boring. And I was like, man, I cannot. I just had I had a taste of the good shit. So
Dolce Vita.
Yeah.
But like,
exactly.
Was there something about being in Seattle or anywhere in the U.S., but being in Seattle where you were like, something here, I'm lacking something here that I remember experiencing when I was in Italy? Because like, for example, I talked with my business partner, Christina, who she's based in the U.S. She struggles being in the U.S., in her case, North Carolina, and she used to live in Italy and Spain. She's like, here in North Carolina, it's so hard to make friends because nobody wants to go out. Everybody's like structured and planned. There's no ease of just going out and calling up a friend or just bumping into somebody in the street.
Yeah.
Everything's like, oh, I'm free next Thursday at 6, and you go meet up for 2 hours for dinner, and then that's it for a month. And it's like it's just hard. People are open in the U.S., but they're just very hard to actually make.
Yeah, they don't think it's easy to become unaware in the U.S. of how boring everything is. You get used to being bored, and then relative the things you do that become like if here's all the things you can do, and then here's like boring. They're doing they're in this area, and so the things that the less boring end of the boring seem exciting after a while, I guess. I don't know. It's just like, we're going to go watch football on Sundays, whatever. Or like whatever people look forward to. I don't know. I just kind of feel like in Italy, I'm just always doing the kinds of stuff I used to look forward to. Yeah. I don't look forward to anything anymore because it's just constantly happening.
It's just it's the fun stuff has been normalized, but in a good way.
Yeah. No, it's not like I'm just partying all the time. Right. I mean, I am. Don't get me wrong, but that's not what I mean. Like, this is fun. You know what I mean?
This is fun. This is doing weird.
I mean, if I was gonna, like, today, I came here, right? Like, I went to my job did a little bit of that. Came here. On my way here, I stopped and got fried fish, drank a beer. Now I'm here. It's just I don't know, it just sounds normal, but it was just all just easy.
I feel
I don't
like
know.
that's how it should be.
Everything's just easier, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's hard to remember too. When I was in Seattle those years, like, I had a good situation. I think that's the thing. I had a really good situation there. Amazing job, made my own hours, didn't have someone looking over my shoulder, ordering me around, lived in the coolest part of town, great apartment to myself, pretty much ideal. And still, every time I came back, I would go visit Italy for 10 days, 2 weeks, come back and just be depressed, be like, oh, I don't want to go back,
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to my awesome life and my top floor apartment in downtown Seattle. Okay, then apparently you're not in the right place.
Yeah. You have everything. Everything's worked out, but it still didn't feel. It wasn't where you wanted to be.
Yeah, I traded it for a life of literally, like, absolutely not knowing how I was gonna pay my rent, eat my meals. I ran out of my unemployment checks pretty quick. And then it was just, I had no idea day to day. And that lasted a good, it's been about 15 years now. No, I mean, it was desperate for like a good 6 or 7 years. I had no idea.
So you came with no plan other than, I know I want to be there and not here.
Yeah. And the job that I have now and the situation I have now is really lucky. It's kind of unbelievable. So it's not like I make a lot of money, but I have an amazing amount of freedom. And I work with and for people that are all my friends. And I don't have a ceiling or a limit to where I can go. It's all up to me now, how I manage my time and what I prioritize. Most people aren't lucky enough to be in that situation. So I'm very grateful for that and the people that I met that have kind of helped me to be in that spot. But if I'd done things by the book, that would have never happened, I don't think.
There would have been too many roadblocks
I would have found another way, but it would have been a more traditional way. The reason I have this job is because I held out for like 10 years without a job until finally there was something that worked for me, you know?
Yeah.
So if I can hold out for that long, and the only reason I could hold out for that long was because I had other ways to scrape money,
Yeah.
Put together some scratch.
Yeah, man. Got to get that scratch.
Yeah.
Is that what we say for cat?
I think it's a Gen Z thing, scratch.
Gen Z, if you're watching, they're all on TikTok, but if you see this, tell us what scratch means. What bet means?
No, that's easy. That's an easy one. They think they're so clever because they started saying bet. That is no different than back in like the 80s when people are like, want to bet. That is like bet. I'll bet you. Bet I can't. Bet you can't.
Yeah, but bet is.
It's just shortening it.
No, it's different. Bet is like, hell yeah.
Bet means like bet's like, bet isn't it just like you'd never do that, bet, right? Isn't it?
I think it's
you can't
maybe that, but I think it's more like we're all going to get pizza tonight. There's like 10 of us. You want to come? Bet. You respond, bet. Like, yeah.
Still, it's just like it's the same.
I know
thing.
it's not.
It's like you can count on it. Bet I'll be there. You bet. I've been saying you bet since I was like 7.
Yeah.
And that was definitely before. It was definitely before TikTok.
Yeah.
Or Gen Z. You bet.
I think we sound really old right now, but I'm fine with that because I don't really want to speak Gen Z. No.
You bet your ass.
You bet.
I sound old right now.
Oh, okay. When you moved here, was there anything that was it's like, okay, this is different than just being a student here? That you were like, living here is different than just being like in like student fun party mode?
Well,
Other than like maybe bureaucracy, which of course is a thing.
I didn't do that student thing, like really in the traditional sense.
Okay. So for you, it felt like a continuation. When you came
Yeah.
back, you were just continuing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Completely.
And so that was 2010. So you've been living here for 15 years. What did you do during those 10 years to get by?
Just I played music wherever I could. I mean, I had gigs. I lived super, super cheap. I didn't even busk yet. At that time, no, I played little, I had like little gigs where I'd get like 30 euros, 50 euros, but they were like weekly gigs. I was getting by on like 500 euros a month.
Was this in Florence?
No, it was here.
So you
That's the other
studied in
thing.
Florence.
In Perugia, life is inexpensive.
So you studied in Florence, went back to the States. When you moved here, you moved to Perugia? Or did you spend time in Perugia before?
When I came to Perugia during that year that I was in Florence, back in 2006, and that's when I was like, oh yeah, that's where I want to go back to.
Okay.
Because it was more Italian. I love Florence, but like it's hard to integrate into any sort of cultural life there.
It's like the 51st state at this point.
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration, but
yeah,
from the limited amount of time I've spent there in the last few years, it seems like it is probably the worst place in Italy to learn Italian.
Yeah, probably.
1, and 2, make Italian friends.
Probably.
Because none of them can afford to live in the center, so they live outside.
Yeah, I'd say it's not like the number one worst place, probably. And it's funny because when I first went there to study, it was because I thought it would be less obvious. Like it wouldn't be like, Rome. Everyone knows about Rome and Milan. I didn't realize Florence was exactly the magnet for students and tourists, concentrated. But I still loved it. And I still managed to learn Italian and integrate there.
Nice.
So you just have to want it,
And you got an Italian girlfriend.
And I got an Italian girlfriend then there.
Did she speak English?
No.
Did you learn Italian while living in Italy?
Yeah.
Did you mostly learn while you were studying here in 2005, or did you really start learning in 2010?
No, I really started learning right when I got here the very first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's how come I ended up staying an extra, like for the whole year instead of 3.5 months.
Okay.
For the first 2 months, I just studied Italian on my own and went to this place called Snack Bar Anna, which is still there, and they're still my friends because they were the first place I found where they were really nice. It felt like it was really a breath of fresh air in Florence to find them because they were they were so kind. Link in the description.
Where are they in Florence?
Via dei Ginori, near the San Lorenzo market. They're just amazing.
Still the same people. Nice.
So husband and wife. Yeah, they're great. They're really great. You absolutely should go there. I'll go there with you.
Yeah.
If you want to go there, I'll go there. We just get on a train and go there anytime you want. Because it's literally like they basically indirectly, because I found that place and I started just hanging out there. They didn't charge me. They didn't treat me weird. And I just ate sandwiches and drank coffee and practiced Italian with them.
Whoa.
Yeah. Eventually made friends with other people that hung out there. They go from coffee bar to like just locals getting drunk around like 7:00, and they'll close the thing like halfway, and you can go under there. They're just getting drunk in there. Especially those days, because he was like 40. So he was like my age now, so just beers and drinking, as much as possible.
Yeah. So you were in Florence, then realized you liked Perugia.
Yeah.
And you were playing music. Was it easy to find gigs? Paying gigs? As a musician?
When?
At any point, whether in Florence or Perugia, when you were like, hey, you're speaking Italian, but you're like, I play, I'm assuming at that time you played what you play now, which is like folk, country, American stuff. Was that an easy sell on venues?
Yeah, that's probably the only reason I got gigs, because I couldn't really, I wasn't good. Like, I was okay, but like I could get gigs so much easier just because, yeah, I'm an American country folk singer.
novelty.
Yeah. And it was just like, oh, cool. You know, sing like Bob Dylan songs and it sounds pretty good, you know? Okay. I could get a lot of gigs that way. It helped a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that grew into you playing with other people. And now, I mean, now do you consider yourself, you know, leading the charge of country folk music in Italy?
Leading the charge.
I mean, have you seen the music game?
Come on. Giddy up.
Have you seen it gain in popularity in these 15 years, the style of music that you play, whether it's because of your influence or you've just seen it pop up around the country?
It's growing for sure, but like, I'd like to think that on a local level, you know, I make an impact. That's kind of the idea. But yeah, I think it's just more, there's more, I actually don't know. I feel like Italians are super receptive to country music and folk music. Folk music maybe a little less, just because it's so lyric based. Italian culture isn't really like, let's sit down and figure out what these people are singing about in a language that I'm not even fluent in. You know, if Italians are going to listen for lyrics, they're going to listen to their own folk music.
I think,
with their own singer-songwriters.
From my perspective, Italian singer-songwriter music it's all about the lyrics. They really don't care about the music that much.
Or even the voice.
The voice, the skill, it's all about the words. So
yeah, I mean, they do care about the voice, actually. It's like the voice and the words, the poetry behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of when it's singer-songwriter, yeah. Because Italian music has been around for, you know, if you think about it, we've been making music, this thing where we make songs and sell these songs, like, and record them and produce them. And it's been, how long has that been around in the world? Like 100 years?
100 years.
So for however many, before 100 years ago, where music, they just hired people to play their weddings and their parties, and you played music, you helped to create a better, lively atmosphere. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't until the gramophone where you could have recorded music playing at a party and you wouldn't have to hire a band, which I guess that became popular and like.
Well, besides that's when you start to get people listening to music at home alone, listening to a song, you know, repeat. You didn't have that like 200 years ago. You had folk songs. So if you wanted to hear a song on a repeat, you needed to know someone that played it. And so you might have folk songs that were kind of lyric based. Those lyrics are simple because they need to be easy to remember, you know, so you can pass it on. So this whole thing, poetic singer-songwriter, deep stuff, it's all relatively new. And for Italy, that's didn't, like, in America, they kind of invented that sort of whole way of doing it. So in Italy, you know, I think if you're gonna listen to music for that, if you're gonna listen to those type of singers, you're gonna listen to there's a few Italian singers that are amazing songwriters and have incredible lyrics, that stuff that I don't even comprehend how beautiful it is because I'm not Italian. Yeah. It's not my mother tongue. I'd have to work on my Italian for another 20 years to really, I think, fully appreciate the stuff that like De André sings about. But Italians get it, you know?
Also because so many of those songs are in either Italian slang or dialect, and for us to read it, It's like we don't really understand it because they abbreviate words. They do.
Yeah, but even if you understand it, it's not even about understanding it. It's like really feeling about how amazing the choice of words were, how beautiful they are. Like, how did you think of that? We can't, we don't ask ourselves these questions. We don't have that because it's in Italian. And it's the same thing with Italians. They'll listen to, a singer-songwriter in English. It's not, even if they understand it, then they don't fully take it unless their English is really, 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 really high level English, almost mother tongue level.
They'll never appreciate when we say way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. They just can't.
Can't comprehend the
can't
depth.
comprehend what it's like to be
Alan Jackson
skiing behind a boat. You've seen the video. In jeans. I mean, that's just Americana.
You see, that's what I was saying though, originally. That's a little bit, that actually does translate. You can appreciate that no matter where you're from, right? Come on. Yeah, exactly. So that's it. It's easier now. With now, since living in Italy, I've gone way more country.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Simply because it's something that's
more country versus folk.
Yeah.
And for people who aren't into this at all, how would you explain the difference between those two? Because somebody who only listens to rap probably puts country and folk in the same bucket.
I mean, country is something first of all, it's usually more commercial. I mean, it's hard to say. It's totally different.
Maybe it's more performance focused versus composition focused. Country music is more like,
I mean, folk is a term that people misuse all the time too. Like folk means it's like a folk song. It's like traditionally passed on music.
Anywhere in the world, not just America.
Yeah, it's like
European folk. There's like Belgian folk music, French.
In Italy, it's musica popolare.
Italy, it's like there's
musica popolare.
Yeah,
there's all this stuff, and that's what folk music is. That's nothing like country music. Is not that at all. If you're talking about like people who call what they do folk, but they're really talking about like singer-songwriter stuff, then those are just people like writing songs on guitars.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very, very country sounding. Sometimes the lyrics have a lot of parallels with country, but that just depends on the individual songwriter, And I've gone more country because I've realized, wow, a lot of stuff I sing about is actually pretty country. If I just twang it up a little bit and give it a little bit more of that sound, because country, a lot of what country is just a sound, Country is, slide guitars, like pedal, like steel guitars, violins. It's dry, raw sounds, whether it's on acoustic or an electric. And it's usually twangy sort of accent.
Country music has a style. Folk music is
well, once again, folk music
is not.
What do you mean?
Right. It's I'm not explain it, but it doesn't have a style. You can't say this sounds like folk music. Like this has elements of folk music. Other than that, it's been passed on and it's maybe native to a certain part of the world and it's maybe we don't even know who wrote it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even know. Like, I'm not even really, like, folk is not really a thing that I'm even really know much about, to be honest.
And you've leaned more into country because it's got those elements that Italians are like, yeah, this sounds different. They like the twang, they like the slide guitar, they like those elements. Why is that? Because it sounds more American and kind of unique to them?
It's fun. Country music is super fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. It's just really fun. Even if I'm playing it by myself and I'm singing like old timey songs, there's like yodels in it and stuff.
Yeah. You do have that.
It's super fun.
You have that quality of your voice where you can do those kind of twangy, yodely.
I got a feeling called the blues, oh Lord, since.
Yeah. Did you start doing that in Italy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is yeah, just all that stuff. I started like really leaning into it and embracing it. But I don't know how much of it's because of Italy or how much of it's just because that's been my growth process, you know.
It's
I
probably a
now
bit of
I
both.
grew up in Italy, you know what I mean? I
It's probably a bit of both.
became a man in Italy.
Yeah.
So
When you drank your first beer.
I had my first most things in Italy. Yeah, I was a late bloomer. Wasn't my first beer, but I had my first. I faced my first beer in Ireland actually. But
Have you ever experienced Italians that are like, what is this? This is weird. I don't like this.
I mean, everyone gets it. It's just a matter of like what they want to get about it. And it's not hard. I don't know. I feel like most people are gonna have a good time just listening. Like, especially if you have a band, like a full band playing good old stomping country tunes. Like,
Yeah. Which you do play with sometimes. You have a full band.
Yeah.
It's a mix of American, Italian, Canadian.
Yeah, we got Austin is him and me started the band together. He's Canadian. Presentini, the other guitar player, he probably knows more about all this music than well, definitely more than me. Probably knows more than Austin. He just knows all this stuff.
Also, he has the perfect look for it.
Hey, he looks like he could be like Native American.
He looks like he could be Native American or like Southern California Leonard Skinner. He could be playing on stage barefoot with long hair, bell
Totally.
bottoms.
Yeah. And he's got cooler country shirts than I do. He ordered a pedal steel. I mean, who does that? Who just like joins a band and it's like I don't know if you realize that a pedal steel, first of all, what it even is. Then second of all, like how hard one of it is to find and how much it costs. It's ridiculous. It's easier to buy a car.
You've written a lot of songs.
I've written some songs.
You've written a few songs. You've written some in Italian, right?
I've tried.
And how does that go?
I got my biggest hit, my greatest hit of all time is an Italian song.
What do you mean it's your biggest hit?
It's the only song I've ever written up till now that literally people care about more than just if they know me. More than just like, oh, maybe they like my music and so they picked some favorites. Like, I have songs like that people like that I do. But the Italian one, Venti Luglio, went to another spot. Yeah, for sure. Even though I never properly recorded it or released it.
It's just when you play it, people will stop and...
Yeah, and I put a video up of me dinking around with it on YouTube once. I mean, just stupid little homemade video. It's me playing the song just live with a microphone.
Okay.
So, and yeah, it people like that song.
That's cool.
It resonates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty funny. And I don't know at this point, like it's kind of one of those, it's been tested for sure. So we might properly release it. Do like a SpongeBob-y country version of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen you guys. I think I saw you do that once at Alpha. And then with your group, you guys have done some stuff on Instagram, which I'll link to somehow.
Link in the description.
Link in description / I'll put this as a clip or something, but you guys have done little like around the kitchen table recordings of stuff in Italian, English, Latin, Peruvian dialect, and you guys have performed that sometimes a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. The dialect one, my friend Simone Bottoloni helped me out with that one. He came up with those lyrics. And then, the Latin stuff, that just was a spontaneous thing we did just for fun. And then it went kind of viral. So we'll do that once in a while, but that's not really, it's become a trick. It was really just for fun. But now we also know that it totally works. if you want some engagement network.
Yeah. Yeah. For learning Italian, what was that like for you? You studied Italian here properly. You didn't just do it on the streets. Like,
I bought Italian for Dummies and 501 Italian verbs.
okay.
And so I learned Italian from those two books, and then asking people questions about stuff that I was reading in those two books. So I would go to that bar, Snack Bar Anna, sit down, I had my notebook, and I had Italian for Dummies and 501 Italian verbs and a dictionary. And I would read some stuff, study some stuff, try to close my eyes and remember that I did the day before, just like old school 6th grade studying for your exam kind of stuff, all on my own. Then I will go try to have a conversation about it with Stefano at the bar.
I don't know anybody who
for hours.
studies like that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think they can.
Hours. That's just what I did. And my Italian got so good, so fast. It
Italian is
plateaued
very good.
when I stopped doing that.
Where do you feel like you are now?
So now my Italian isn't really, there's people that have been in Italy, people that have been speaking Italian for 20 years. Most of those people speak better Italian than me, I think. Because once I got to the level where I was integrating and was meeting people and was living like a normal person, you get kind of like, okay, cool. Now I can actually enjoy this instead of just spending all my time studying Italian.
Sure.
I didn't study Italian because I'm was just super into learning it as best I could. I literally studied it so I could hang out and like meet Italian girls and stuff.
I feel like that's definitely happened to me because I've met so many girls, they just
once you
hear that American accent and they're like, where is the ring?
It's one of the more sexier accents.
Yeah,
around.
For sure. Quando parliamo così.
Dude, non c'hai idea. Non ti rendi conto la roba che ti succederà quando impari l'italiano. Soprattutto quando c'è un accento esotico.
Sì, esotico così e parliamo di hamburguesas e Coca-Cola.
Hamburguesas. Cos'è?
Hamburger.
Hamburger. No, hamburger. You could say that in an American accent.
Hamburger. Whenever I say hamburger with an Italian accent, my Italian friends are like, just say it the right way.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't.
Just say it the right way. We say it the wrong way. Hamburger. It's like, okay.
That's the best thing about speaking Italian with just the most American accent you can. Because then the words, when you say hamburger, it doesn't feel weird at all.
Yeah, because they use a lot of English words. So occasionally you sound like if you say marketing, they're like, wow, your Italian's really good.
Tu che cosa hai studiato? Ho studiato marketing.
There is a word for marketing, but it's like 4 words in Italian. So nobody says that. They all say marketing. Marketing, business, or stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy.
Jam session, Wi-Fi.
Dai, vieni stasera che facciamo l'open mic and stand-up comedy.
I love all that stuff. For Italian, learning Italian, I found that when you get conversational enough to just like hang out with people, in my experience, I got lazy and I plateaued. But that was my only motivation, is I want to just hang out, meet strangers who don't speak English, go on dates with girls that don't speak English.
Yeah.
It's so fun when you can do that. The first time I came to Italy, not the first time I came, when I moved to Italy, and I met this couple. It was here. There's this couple from Southern Italy that was just like hanging outside, and they didn't speak any English, and I was able to talk to them. I'd been studying Italian at that point for like 6 months, just with lessons online, and then I moved to Italy. And it's like to be able to just talk to somebody. And yeah, of course, you're far from perfect, but they really appreciate. It's one thing when they can appreciate when you know how to say, oh, grazie mille, okay.
Sure.
But when you can have a conversation, then they're actually impressed. And sometimes they'll go back to English because they see your Italian is not as good maybe as their English. Some Italians, in my experience, are really excited about speaking English. So even if It's just terrible. They just insist on speaking English with you,
Mm-hmm.
which is fun. I appreciate that. And for those people, I'll speak English because I can tell they want to learn it.
Yeah, that's when you have you gotta work on your patience muscles a little bit. I used to struggle with that a lot.
When people would force their English.
When I felt insulted almost, or I felt like, you know what, like I'm trying to talk to you. I feel like you're just using me to speak English at. And that can be, that I used to just feel almost like a personal thing. Like, you know what, like, why are you, like, I'm talking about when it's really obvious, you know?
Yeah.
When it's really obvious that like we can have a way better conversation right now. We can get to know each other. We can see if there's maybe we could be friends, but you're insisting on speaking on saying 5 words per minute
Yeah.
and forcing me to speak in a more simple way.
Yeah.
So you're not you don't care about knowing me. What you care about is just practicing English.
Yeah.
But you know, you're a more patient man than me. Besides, I've gotten better about that. It used to drive me crazy.
Now you just accept it.
Yeah, and now I'll just
walk away.
Yeah, I'll entertain it for a while. Depends on the person. The person appreciates it, then I'll do it all day. You know what I mean?
Have you had any crazy mix-ups or misunderstandings while learning Italian where you're trying to get somewhere and you ask something, you think they say something, you go somewhere else, or
I've had a few I've had a lot. I'm sure there's so many I forgot about. 'Cause it was a long time ago also. I'll tell you about a couple. One time was when I'd only known Italian for like a couple years. I was still learning it. This was when I was visiting. This was in like 2006. So I was in Perugia hanging out with my girlfriend for like 6 months. And I had a friend from Seattle who was in Siena, and she was doing like a study abroad program at that time. And the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl. So I went there to watch the Super Bowl with her and her friends at this bar that was showing the game. And this was the only way you could watch it. You had to find a place that was that would had like satellite, some sort of subscription to some sort of channel that would actually show that live. So
at like starting at
midnight and going till like 5 a.m. or something. Like you couldn't stream it or anything like that. You know, so we were stoked. That was the first time Seattle ever made the Super Bowl. Because I'm from Montana, but you know, as you can tell now, a big part of my life is also Seattle based. And so I went there to watch that with her and her friends. And I think it got to like it was like late in the third quarter. The game was pretty close. It was getting intense. We're getting excited. We're loud. Everyone there is cheering for the Seahawks. It was a bunch of Americans and then some Italians, and we're getting loud. You know, it's like, I don't know, 3 a.m. or something. And the people working there are like, you guys, like, can you keep it down? And I think we were like, sure. Well, I think like the second time we like cheered really loud, they're like, guys, you gotta keep it down because it's really late, right? And we're like, okay, sorry. And we were just so respectful. We were like, immediately just, things would be happening in the game. We'd be like, oh, fuck yeah. We're like literally like whisper cheering the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
First time we're ever in a Super Bowl, and we're whisper cheering. And I'm like, wow, we're pretty nice, like respectful kids. This were like 22-year-old kids, and we're, oh, come on. and at a certain point, this guy comes up, this Italian guy, and I think after like a while, we started to once in a while be like, oh, you know, and like maybe say something a little bit louder than a whisper, but we're still being incredibly quiet. This Italian guy comes up and starts telling us stuff. And I'm just like, dude, I don't want to hear it, man. Don't want to hear it, you know? And he's like, no, like, I'm just saying, like, and he starts telling me a bunch of this stuff. And I'm thinking he's just giving me his hard time, you know, and I think I understand him, but man, I've had a lot of beers and other things. And I don't know I don't really know what he's saying at all, but I think what he's saying is that we need to be quiet still. And I'm like, dude, like, back off, you know, like we're being so respectful right now. Have you ever seen anyone be like that, you know? And he was like, no, but like the World Cup and then the World Cup, and maybe, I don't even know, maybe at this point, maybe he was even speaking me in bad English. I don't even know. And he was like, the World Cup this and the World Cup that. And I'm like, yeah, for us, this is pretty kind of the same thing, you know? And he's like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Leave us alone, like, quit breaking my balls, you know? He's like, dude, I'm just trying to, you know? And I'm like, no, I don't want to, you know? And I was just thought this is another guy trying to tell us to, like, a year later, I'm like at my house, just hanging out by myself, thinking about good times I've had in my life, I guess. And I'm thinking about that Super Bowl, and I'm thinking, wait, that guy was trying to tell us that we should have fun and cheer and not worry about being so quiet. He was trying to tell us not to worry about it.
Yeah.
He was trying to tell us, like, don't worry about that guy that told you to be quiet. Like, just have fun.
Yeah.
Like, this is your World Cup. This is he was literally saying,
Instead,
this is
you were being like hostile to
yeah, I was like, back up. So I wasn't embarrassed because it was like a year later. So I was like, wait a second.
Weren't you there with your Italian girlfriend? She didn't?
No, she didn't come. She was,
okay.
yeah, like that was this like a all-nighter I knew I was going to have.
Yeah.
So yeah, she wasn't interested in that. So
that's funny. He was probably, poor guy. He was just trying.
I know he was trying so hard to get me to understand, and I was not hearing it.
The people who told you to quiet down, was it the bar?
Yeah. Yeah. So no, it was fine. They were, I mean, understand, you know what I mean? We were all very understanding, in fact.
This was 06?
Yeah, so 2006.
They won, right?
They lost to the Steelers.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the other one that comes to mind were like super where I made like just a gaffe, basically. Or whatever. I guess this technically isn't a gaffe, but this was embarrassing. This happened, this was like 2 years ago too. So it's not even like while I was learning Italian. So, my friend was visiting from the Netherlands with his daughter and his wife or partner or whatever. And the daughter had head lice. So I go to the pharmacy. This one right by my house. I go to the pharmacy, and I'm like, yeah. So I go to the pharmacy. I'm like, I need some like medicine for fleas. And he's like, who has fleas? And I was like, my buddy's daughter has got a pretty bad case of the fleas right now. And he's like, I don't think you mean fleas. And I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm saying. I mean fleas. Like, why? He's like, no, I think what you're trying to say is that your friend's daughter has lice. And I was like, no, man, I'm trying to tell you she has fleas. Like, why are you trying to tell me it's lice? I know what I'm talking about. My friend's daughter has fleas. And he's just looking at me like, no, dude, she has lice. And I'm like, dude, like, we go back and forth. I'm getting mad. He's getting mad. Finally, I'm like, look, dude, you have like a shampoo for fleas or something like that or what? So he's like, okay. So he goes and gets a shampoo and brings it out. And at that point, it's very clear that, in fact, she has lice, not fleas. So I just look at the bottle and I'm like, I was just kind of like, yeah, that's what like I said. Can I get this or what? Like I've been saying the whole time, she has lice. Can I get this bottle or what? Like, how much is it? And he's like, dude, fucking guy. Like I like try to gaslight him into making him think that he told me that it was fleas and I've been saying lice. And of course, I don't think that worked. The gaslighting would. So then, but the worst part is it's like downstairs from my house. So now, like if I go there, like I have to.
He hands you the flea medication.
I like go with, I like shave my beard and get a mustache, like we'll go hoodie,
Those noses.
Yeah, exactly. I don't ever want to see that guy again.
He sends you the vets down there. Wait, what is the word for lice and flea? What are the two words?
Pulci.
Pulci is lice?
Le pulci is fleas.
Le pulci.
Yeah, that's fleas.
Okay.
Pidoki is lice.
Okay.
So, I mean, to be fair, they're very kind of, you can easily confuse those two words.
But
they start with P and with I.
Yes.
But,
I mean, it should be like, oh, he said fleas, he meant lice. There should be no argument. It's like, obviously.
I was the one that made it an argument, though.
That's
like, I was the one who was so stubborn to be like, you're totally right. And he wasn't trying to argue. He was like, yeah, Pidoki, of course. And I was like, no, not fleas, I said.
But the medication's got to be the same. It's like, it's tiny bugs that need to die.
Exactly.
What
what
difference is it?
What are we, splitting hairs?
Oh, geez. But otherwise, you found it's been fairly
split hairs over head lice shampoo. Come on now.
Yeah. So, speaking of culture, what are some things about Italian culture that you didn't expect that surprised you?
That surprised me? Like, honestly, it's hard to remember because it was so long. And I don't know if I had if I expected anything. I guess maybe back when I first got here, I was kind of shocked to see how many things were like in America, how many people spoke English and stuff like that, stuff that perfectly just normal. I don't know. I think I had this idea that things are going to be like super, totally different. Everything would be different. But I honestly didn't really know what to expect. Nothing surprised me. Nothing was expected. It was all a surprise, but in that sense, just because nothing totally, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything that stands out.
Well, is there anything that you found that you miss about the U.S. culturally or anything?
I mean, not nostalgically, just culturally, or like something I missed.
I miss my family and friends, but
like not counting that. Or like the mountains by my house.
Sure,
that doesn't count. No, like I miss being able to just like watch ESPN or something while I eat lunch, and just kind of know what's going on in sports without having to follow it. Because I don't have time to follow that stuff. Yeah. But if I also like to kind of turn off for a minute while I'm eating lunch and just turn on a show or something. Now, if I want to do that, I got to look up something on YouTube or something. Yeah. Waste a bunch of time. If I find something I like, then I end up getting sucked into it. Most of the time I'm bored, so I end up wasting my time, and I don't know. It's just so nice if I could just watch like Around the Horn or something.
Yeah, because if you can watch Sports Center, like watch a game or watch the highlights, they'll do like a recap of what happened that week, and it kind of gets you up to speed.
Exactly. You get to kind of like learn about the stuff that's happening and going on. I don't like doing that with normal news, just sports news. I kind of miss doing that.
I mean, normal news, who has time? What are like rules? I hate the word rules, but for lack of a better term, things you've noticed about Italian culture that you think, like, somebody new who wanted to move here right now, you're like, they'll learn. They can't learn. You can't tell them. They just have to learn it. But this is very important to life here, culture here, whether it's like one of the things I learned, this is minor, but like on people's birthdays, it's typical that the person whose birthday it is pays for the group.
That's a good one.
Versa.
That's a good one.
Just as an example.
Yeah, for just any person, everyday people, not musicians necessarily, just like anyone.
Yeah.
Because for musicians, I can name a million things. For just regular living, yeah, like say hello to everyone and say goodbye to everyone every time you see them. There's kind of little things that it's not really emphasized.
That can be hard for people from the States. For people from the South, that's very easy because we're very accustomed to that. But people...
Is it that way?
Yeah. Yeah.
People
you don't even know, you say
really?
Too.
Yeah. Like here, I never realized that, like, if I leave somewhere and like, I don't say goodbye to, if I say goodbye to like 3 people and the 2 people I don't say, those 2 people are going to be like, what the?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
they're really big on that. It's hard to walk down the street here and see people you know and not say hey. It's like it's a little offensive. Yeah,
you gotta say hi, and like, personally, I don't care about, like, if I don't want to stop and talk, I will just say hi.
Yeah.
And I won't stop and talk.
Yeah, same.
And I think they get it. I think anyone can tell, like, if you're going somewhere, you're in a hurry, but like, I don't think people really care. But there's this thing, whenever any Italian girlfriend that I've had, if she sees someone she knows, she has to stop and talk to them. And so we all like walk, and they'll just be like, every 5 minutes isn't, it's like literally every 2 minutes, you have to stop and have a 5-minute conversation or more with someone. And I'm like telling them always just like, we don't have to have a conversation every time, but like, it didn't exist. You had to stop and talk to the person every time. I don't know if that's an Italian thing. I don't know if that's...
It depends on the person, I think, but I do see it tends to be very common here.
But definitely with the goodbyes one, I would definitely...
Yeah, saying hello and leaving, it's good to acknowledge people, which can be hard when you like bump into so many people that you know.
There's like little formalities.
Yeah.
Like if someone is pouring drinks for everybody, and you get yours, don't start drinking it.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff I actually really appreciate. Like, a lot of it is very classy stuff.
Yeah.
And it's stuff when I go back to America, it's kind of cringy because I'll just be like, God, this seems kind of obvious, right? Like, I'm like, hey, who wants a drink? And like, if I'm pouring, like, I got this bottle of whiskey for my birthday and anybody wants some? Sure. And you're serving up like 5 glasses of whiskey and you pour the first one, and the first person they take it and start drinking it. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
I really think, unless you're like in America, I mean, I would have just been like, yeah, give me that. Yeah, sweet. Thanks, man. Start drinking.
That's interesting. I would wait to cheers regardless of where I am. One thing I have noticed that's surprising here is...
Maybe I just have no class. I'm just learning about all the things that everyone's been doing forever, but it took being in Italy for me to figure it out. It's really possible.
An intervention.
I'd
say in everybody.
It's now a therapy session. I honestly like probably half the things that I think are like Italian experiences are just me growing up.
That's hilarious. Well, one thing I've noticed that they do in the US, most people I think that are polite, is if you're at a restaurant and there's 6 of you and 4 of you get your plates, but 2 of you don't because their plates are coming later for whatever reason, you wait until everybody has their plates before you start eating. I always wait. Here, they don't wait. And I think it's because they're like, the food is the most important thing. I don't care who's at the table with me. The food is the most important thing, and I'm going to eat it while it's still hot. I'm not letting it cool off. So they'll just jump right into it. There's no question of waiting, which seems counter to the drink thing, which is like, you don't pour your own wine first. You don't drink without, doing the brindisi. I always wait because I feel bad for the person who didn't get their food. But then they'll all say, if you're waiting, they'll all say, eat, eat, eat. They don't
Well,
want you to wait.
That's the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing. It's so weird because in so many ways, because one of the things I really loved about Italy from the beginning was this kind of a little bit less of the kind of like, what's the word?
Pleasantries.
Yes, there's less pleasantries in general, but there are a few that are like this one where everyone gets their food, and what you're supposed to do is not eat until one of the people who didn't get their food says eat, and then you go, okay.
Yeah.
That would be like the polite way to handle it.
Yeah, I agree. And they always say, don't wait for me. Don't wait for me. Which any decent person will say, don't wait for me.
We should start doing that the opposite.
What?
Like anytime I'm the last person to get it, I'm going to be like, please wait.
Please wait.
Everyone's sitting there looking at me like, do I have to wait? I'll be like, sucks. I'm sorry you got your food first.
It's just,
I'm pretty glad. I'm lucky I got mine last since I don't have to sit here and let it get cold.
Yeah, it's going to be freshest. But, if you guys are nice friends, you'll wait for me. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I really appreciate you guys waiting. Keep it up.
So back to the music thing then, a related question. Are there any kind of norms that a performing musician should know if they want to come to Italy and either work as a musician or just do it for fun? Are there any kind of differences you've seen?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, if you're coming to Italy because you want to be a musician, like that's dumb. Choosing to be a musician in general is dumb. Don't do it. Louis C.K. talks about this, the whole bit about this, and he's totally right. It's like
he's talking about musicians or comedians?
Professional musicians.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like, well, that's just a terrible idea. But if you're coming to Italy because you love Italy and you happen to be a musician and that's what you want to do, then I'd say the most important thing to understand is that the way music works in America, the way it is part of our culture and who we are, is way, way, way more intense and bigger part of than what it is in Italian culture. At least for people my age.
What do you mean?
I don't know if it's changed. It could be changing now, but Italians love music. Music is appreciated in Italy, but it's not part of their core. Even if they're great, even like Italian musicians are amazing, but they've kind of had to actively choose to become musicians, and then they're talented.
Yeah.
There's nothing, not saying that they're not talented, but it's extra work in Italy to really be part of who you are. It's really rare. Just like the equivalent would be like food in the US. Like people love food in the US. People love to eat. People like good food. People like to cook. And a lot of people self-proclaimed are really into food and stuff, but it's not really part of your core unless you're from a few rare situations where you're in a real cultural situation. Maybe you have like a Mexican family or something,
or like the barbecue smoking culture. Those guys.
Maybe in a few places in like Alabama or something, they got some people that are just intense, like into that,
or like Creole.
Yeah,
stuff.
Exactly. You get but really, like, what percentage of Americans have a real strong identity into one of those things?
No, it's not part of their being.
It's like 1% of Americans have that kind of connection to a culture at all.
Yeah.
At that level.
Yeah.
It's like the Italian Americans in the U.S. As much as they love to talk about being Italian American, very few of them are really that connected on that level.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like connected on the level where, yeah, sure, they probably have a little bit more food tradition in their family than the average American, but it's not like it in Italy.
I think The Sopranos encapsulates this perfectly in the episode where they go to Naples. They're at like an Italian restaurant in Naples, and they're asking for all the stuff that they don't have. They're like, "Can I just get some some spaghetti with gravy.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, they serve him like spaghetti with black squid ink, and he was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And then Tony, at some point, they were like, oh, we're gonna have antipasta, we're gonna this. And Tony's there for business. He's like, is that all you guys do is eat?
Yeah.
Like, there is a difference there. Like Italian Americans, there's obviously some connection there.
Yeah, no.
The Italian connection, the real Italian connection with food is no, you can't understand it, I think, until you live here.
No,
it's like walking down the street, half the conversations you hear are about what they're going to eat that night, what they ate the night before. It's food. How good was the carbonara? What kind of sauce are we going to get? What kind of vegetables? It's just like,
I mean, they're like, it's, and it's not, I'm not even saying like, I'm just, even without like maybe the obsession over talking about it and stuff, just the general way as part of your life, it's a part of their life in a way that for an American to have food be such a deep part of who they are, they would have to, like I said, be one of the 1% of Americans who actually come from that sort of upbringing, or they're traveling the world and studying. Like any respectful, high quality American chef has probably worked and lived in like multiple countries. They probably traveled all over the world to learn about, and I mean, they've dedicated their life to it. That's how, with Italians, with music, it's like Presentini, the slide guitar player in my band. That dude he loves it so much. And he's from a family where everyone plays music, and everyone plays music from that era. He learned English perfectly. He speaks better English than me. He listens to all that music and has learned all those songs and is hungry to learn more stuff for as much as he can, so that it can be part of who he is. And I mean, guys like him are 1 in a million, literally, here. Whereas in America, like everyone, I don't care. You don't have to be a musician. If I tell you to start clapping along, you're going to start clapping on 2 and 4, you're just going to know that. Like, you're just going to be able to kind of appreciate, even if you can't sing because you can't carry a tune, you're going to be able to appreciate someone who does. And you're going to be like, this is nice. And, when you see like Americans just have a better sense of rhythm and all that, just because we've been doing it since we were born,
Yeah.
And it's in school, it's in church. Like Italian, I don't know if you ever gone to Italian church, music is not a big part of it.
Well, they don't have like rock and roll churches like we do.
They don't have that, but even in the Catholic church that I grew up in, like, we sang way more than they do in Catholic churches here.
Well,
way more.
And for the comments that I can already see, Italians perfected music. The Greeks created, Italians perfected. We have the opera. Everybody's going to say opera, opera, opera. Italians had the opera. But who likes opera now? Nobody. Like 2 people. And opera is amazing and the skills are incredible, but it's totally different than all the music we're talking about.
I'm not talking about experts in their field. I'm talking about general. I'm not talking about people who do it. I'm talking about people who can appreciate it.
But the argument really will be as part of our being. If you're going to tell me that Italians don't have music as part of their DNA, I point you to the opera of Modena, and you're wrong, you stupid Americans. That's what the comments will be.
Yeah, no, the point is not that like Italians don't make can't make great music, or that Americans, the question was, what would I tell an American coming here?
Yeah.
And that's that when you're playing music here, don't expect people to have any idea what you're doing or care. Basically, it's not actually part of their DNA. It's like, Italians, if they set their mind to it, like Presentini is like the best guitar player I've ever seen. I'm not saying they don't have musical ability. Italians are amazing singers, by the way. That's probably why opera works so good.
I just mean at the level of appreciation and how much it's baked into the history. And
I'm talking about the level of just daily common appreciation. Opera is a high level thing that they've been doing it for centuries, but like, just the average person in Italy doesn't listen to opera or appreciate opera either.
No.
So anyone who points that out is proving my point, really. They're like, what about opera? Opera, niche thing. That's something where like a few people go and listen to. and just like a few people go and like that's what, in fact, in Italy, music has ironically become a very intellectual, high class, sophisticated thing. You know, the people who are like, oh, I actually love music. I'm into music. I go to the opera. I listen to jazz. And it's just kind of like, I mean, it's not a class thing. You're not supposed to be, you're not better than someone.
Yeah.
You're not like more knowledgeable than someone. You just, in general, as a population, music just wasn't part of your life growing up as nearly as much as it was if you grew up in America. Just like in Italy, like a 10-year-old can make an espresso and it's going to be better than the guy who made your espresso who had to like shadow another barista for 2 years before he was allowed to make one.
Bun and suspenders and a fancy mustache.
Exactly. Like some random kid in Italy is going to make a better espresso.
I would totally agree with that. Sorry, baristas.
Just the,
Well, in my experience, because I'm a amateur musician, whenever I've played on the street in Italy versus in the US or played in public, maybe it's a style of music that I play. I don't know. It's gypsy jazz. It's 1930s acoustic swing. When I played in the US, so many more people stop and listen and are like, whoa, that's really cool. I like that music. Here, people do not care. There are, of course, exceptions, but most people, like when I met Albe and like we literally met at the train station and then played, we just jammed on the train. I'll cut to that video. We just played on the train. If we did that in the US, everybody on that train car would have come up to us and taken a video of us. There, people were telling us to stop on the train in Italy, which is very surprising because you think like Europe, arts, cool, open. I don't know. And I'm not doing it for attention. I don't want people to come take, I'm not saying that, but I've just noticed a different.
I'm surprised people told you to stop. In Italy, people they're really cool about music. They love music. It's just not as deep down ingrained in them. That's all. So like they like it when you're playing music, but it's like part of the atmosphere. You're helping the atmosphere. It's nice, that's all.
Yeah.
No one's sitting there listening to everything you're doing. No one's trying to pay attention. No one cares that much because they haven't tried to do it themselves. They haven't been forced to do it themselves when they've been in Italy. This idea has been perpetuated worse in America too, but much worse. This idea that a musician has a different type of brain, that someone who does art in general must have a different brain, has a different genetic makeup, that musicians have a different talent than other people. And so if you're not a musician, you can't possibly comprehend or care, and therefore you shouldn't even care about what the other people are doing. Like this whole, it's because it's not really part of who you are as an Italian. So you have this idea that anyone who is a musician must have like a different DNA or something.
Maybe. I think the argument with that, I think the studies are more that people who have trained have developed another sort of part of their brain. Because every time we learn something, it's changing something in our brain.
But that's, it's
not something, you're not just born with a musician.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like this idea that people are born as they have a different, it's inherently part of who they are. That's something I've noticed in Italy is really extreme. So it's I'm not a musician, so I don't know what to tell you. I just really like Coldplay.
Yeah.
But I'm not a musician, so you probably think it's stupid because you're a musician, I'm like, oh really? So I'm not allowed to have likes and dislikes and tastes.
Yeah.
Because I have this weird brain that sees things. It's like I'm a guy from Russell Crowe looking at a chalkboard.
You're beautiful.
Yeah. It's not how it is. We just played a lot of music since we were kids.
What are some other things that you've noticed, cultural differences for musicians who want to come to Italy and sell their music, get gigs?
Well,
even just people who are just not musicians themselves, but they love music and they're like, I can't wait to move to Italy and learn about Italian music.
If you love music, there's plenty of music in Italy. You're gonna love it. Yeah. Great music, great musicians. if you're a musician, you're going to have a harder time because there's less people that are interested in listening to your music.
For the reasons we just discussed.
But there are people who do. And you just have to understand that sometimes it's bullshit. Like sometimes people will act like music's a big part of who they are and what they care about. But then the second, like we played Cantner Brothers, we played a fundraiser gig a couple months ago. And before we played, like someone was making a speech and they're like, just want to thank everyone that, helped make this event possible. People, they cooked all day, and then they did this and everyone like with a little clap here, a little clap there. And they're like, and also the musicians that are playing today, they're not getting paid. They're also volunteering for us. And we just really appreciate them and everyone. And they could double 10 times the applause for that. But we hadn't played yet. Right? They just were like, wanted to show they really appreciated us donating our, but almost like they really cared. Like the music applause was louder than the applause for the food. But then when we played, no, they like cut us off after like 3 songs. We're like, all right, well, that was good. Thanks.
Really?
Like no one clapped. And then we finally started to get some people to get into it. And then they're like, oh, cool. The audience is interested. Now and so they cut us off and gave another speech. Like, yeah.
That's interesting.
We were like, well, glad. I mean, whatever. It was for a fundraiser. So
Italian culture. What are some stereotypes that you found to be true about Italian culture?
I mean, the food one, obviously.
What about it?
Just that food is just really important to Italians. That's not a stereotype. That's just real.
I mean, it's a stereotype, but it's true.
Yeah.
And the hand gestures.
That's
That's
true.
real.
Yeah.
That's not exaggerated. I mean, it's exaggerated because Americans and Italian Americans think it's like this floppy wrist. It's not that. It's
No.
like everything has a meaning and there's a specific way. But
Yeah.
They do it Italy wide,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting.
They're not as loud as people say.
I agree. I
They're
don't
not
see that.
Because there's this idea like, oh, loud Italian from a loud Italian family.
No.
Trust me, like Spanish people are loud.
Spanish people are louder.
Yeah.
On a bus, if there's a group of Spanish people and Italian people, you can't hear the Italians because the Spanish people won't stop singing and stuff.
Yeah. And maybe it's just because like Italians in their own country, like maybe but I've seen Italians in other countries too, and they're not loud either. You can tell when there's a group of Italians. Yeah, they're not that. I mean, when it comes to like cliches that are true or stereotypes, not cliches, stereotypes, they are very expressive.
Very expressive. They smoke a lot, more than Americans. Still, most Italians do not smoke.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's
Technically.
like 27 or something % of Italians smoke. In Americans, it's like a third of that.
That's the other thing is stereotypes. You have to remind me what some of those were.
I mean, there's like Italians drink a lot of coffee, which they do. Do you drink coffee after dinner? Espresso after dinner?
Not really. Not usually. If I'm out for dinner.
If I'm out, at home, no.
No. Well, there's a million of these things that they say about like what you shouldn't do when you're in Italy, and Americans like over compensate for. That's kind of like this thing of waiting for people to eat. I don't know.
There's a lot of things that they've propelled into the world, and Americans just get a little panicked. They're like, oh, if I order a cappuccino in the afternoon, they're going to kick me out of the country.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
they're not really going to care. They might just be like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
You might get the classic, the occasional person who's like, yeah, come on. But that's pretty rare as well.
But they'll still give it to you.
Yeah, they're just giving you a hard time. They're just teasing. Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of these things that are actually, it's not necessarily cliches or stereotypes of Italy, but stereotypes of just not being in America. This idea that like outside of America, there's going to be, you're screwed if you have to go to the doctor. There's going to be
socialism.
Yeah, there's going to be, everything's dirty, and there's not proper hygienic practices and stuff like that. That's totally nonsense.
Yeah. It's all socialism, and nobody's an individual, and they can't go to the doctor if they have.
Or you go to the doctor, but it's going to be, you're not, who knows what's going to happen.
Who knows what's going to happen? Yeah.
Even Italians themselves think that's true about themselves, about their own place. But like, you're like, dude, honestly, I've had pretty good experience anytime I had to go there. There was a couple of times where I decided to go to a private practice because I didn't want to wait for the public times. Like, if you're in a hurry, it can be a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
But then if you go, so then you just pay a private doctor, like without waiting through the public health system. It's like €100.
Yeah, no, it's still way less than what you'd pay out of pocket in the States.
Oh man, it's way less than what you would pay after your deductible in the States.
Yeah.
Or for your deductible or whatever. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with that.
I don't have to deal with that. It's like when you look
What's a deductible?
When you look back at the insurance system and how things work in the US, it's just, I've forgotten how it's so confusing. Yeah, it's just crazy. And you try to explain that to Italians, how like copay and premiums and deductibles work, and you realize how insane it is. This is absolutely bonkers.
There's a lot of things you realize about America after being here for a while that you just realize is quite just not how we perceive it in America.
It's not how we perceive it, and then you see how much corporations have had such an influence on American society. One example, perfect example, is cars. Like, America used to be on the path to being set up for public transit. A lot of cities like Houston had the infrastructure and the planning and logistics set up to have like a train and a tram system. But then once Detroit blew up and it was all automotive, we were like, screw all this. We're making roads. It's all roads, parking lots and roads. So like the city of Houston was like basically rebuilt for cars, and that just mapped onto the rest of the US, where it's like, well, we can't have trains in the US because it's all too far apart. It's like, well, not really. There are trains across Europe.
Yeah, there's a lot of ideas that get just kind of, well, I think, it all comes to convincing. You get convinced when you live in a place for a long time, and it's the same with anywhere, but you just get convinced of different things, But part of being from a country like America is you're just going to get convinced that everything in America is the best option. As an Italian growing up, you're not taught that.
Right.
Like, you're taught to be, that it's awesome. I imagine Italians, they can tell me if this isn't true, but I think that like Italians growing up, they're taught that they have a lot to be proud of.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're taught that everything in their country is the best version of whatever that thing is in the whole world. You know what I mean? They're taught that their food is the best, which probably, there might be like there might be a few countries that might try to like argue otherwise, but it's pretty hard to argue against that. It's pretty hard to argue against just the overall beauty of the country and everything and the people. But they're not taught that everything they do in this country is the best way. They're actually taught that there's a lot of things that are screwed up about it. In fact, they're very self-disparaging.
They're very cynical about their system. They love most parts about their culture, but they don't love the system.
Yeah, they didn't. And sometimes I find myself speaking to Italians, be like, look, it's actually not as bad as you think. It's not like you go to America and everything is better. In fact, so many things in America make zero sense the way they're done. We're just used to, we don't want to change it because we just think, oh, well, this is the best. This is the way things are the best. This is the most free. This is the most promising way to do this. This is the best option. This is for like, okay, we have expensive healthcare, but it's the best. Yes, we have issues with gun violence, but we're the most free. It's just like, what if you look at other countries, like everything falls apart when you realize you're not the most free. You don't have the best healthcare. You don't you might want to, you can argue that. I'm not trying to argue that it's not objectively true. It's not just like obviously true. You grow up in America thinking like all this stuff is obviously the best. Like we obviously in America, like obviously our hygiene practices must be the best. When you like go to other in Italy, like the first thing they say about Americans is that we're gross, you know?
Well, they say we're gross because we're fat.
No, they also say we're gross because we go around in flip-flops with sweaty feet and you can smell them from like across the train.
Don't you talk about my shoes.
That was you the other day, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
dude, I mean, seriously, like, come on. We literally, like, I don't know. Maybe they do this in every country but Italy, but like in America, like we're convinced that everything we do is the best way. To where like you'd be like, you know, in Italy they have a bidet for their, and in America it's like gross.
Gross. Like, that's gay. I don't want water shot up my ass.
Exactly. Get out of here with that shit, dude. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, it's way better. Like, it's the best thing. It's the best thing. Like, honestly,
I
like,
love the bidet. And
how
now
is
when
that?
I don't have it, I'm like,
you don't have one here?
no, I have it. I'm saying when I don't have access to one, it's rough. I met a guy here. I met this kid here in Italy that was like potentially going to move to the US for some work thing. And he was asking me about like, what's it like in the US? He's never been. He's like, I heard that you guys don't have bidets. And I was like, no. And he was like, what do you do? I mean, he was horrified.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't understand. And I get it. It's weird to not have one. I think that the construction wise, it's kind of inefficient to have a separate thing.
No, it's totally weird that like, but it's worth it because every single freaking bathroom in Italy has one, basically.
Most of them. Or if they don't have one, they have like the hose.
Yeah, but it's like a campground. Like
in some places, like,
or like a
if they don't have space for a bidet.
Yeah, in most houses, like in anyone's house, they just basically have them.
They do. But I think a lot of Americans now, like my parents, have like the add-on bidets where it's like all one unit. I think that's the way it's all going to go because it just doesn't make sense to have these two giant porcelain things. It takes up so much space. Put it all together. But I agree. But I don't know.
I'll let that, the engineers can leave that to them. For me, I think that it's like Italians are obsessed with like cleanliness in their house.
They are.
And like their own hygienic cleanliness.
But what's wrong with flip-flops? There's literally nothing gross about that.
It's gross making people smell your feet.
What if your feet don't smell?
That's a question that you always ask yourself. And
your feet only smell if you've been wearing shoes and then you put flip-flops on. If you just spend the whole day. Also, like, if you're going to say that about your feet, say that about your whole body. Like, don't wear a t-shirt. I need you to wear like a big jacket. I don't want to smell your arms or your hands. And then at times we'll wear pants and like fully covered throughout the summer. They're just roasting in there. Like, that's gross. Let it breathe. Let your body be cool instead of just being like a pressure cooker for moisture. I agree. Like there's a life is all about balance, Yeah, you dress too warm, you sweat more, you end up smelling more. But you're also not going around. That's another thing. Italians don't walk around shirtless unless they're like at a beach. I mean, like who walks around shirtless?
Like in Montana, you just take off your shirt if it's hot.
Like in the middle of town?
In a town, yeah.
Really?
Sure. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I'm from the 90s.
90s, it was a different time.
We did things.
That was after the Cold War, before 9/11. It was just like the best 10 years we'll ever experience.
And yeah, at that time, shirtless.
I mean, you see that kind of like in southern Italy.
Yeah, exactly. Like near the beach and stuff.
Near the beach or like just, yeah. I think Italians care about cleanliness, but they don't care about germs. From my experience.
I mean, germs are it's kind of bullshit. I kind of agree with them. I kind of agree with them on that.
Do germs exist? That's the question.
Okay, what is a germ? A germ, that sounds like something you told your kids to try to make them clean.
Well, sure. I've gotten used to this because I've been here long enough where I just have stopped fighting it and I'm not going to bother. But when you go somewhere to get like a sandwich, the same guy who's ringing you up and handling all the coins in the till will make the sandwich. And if they're wearing gloves, they're just wearing the same pair of gloves the whole time. It's like, you might as well just take them off at that point. It's like, touch the money and then go back to cutting the cheese. I think that's gross, but I've accepted it now.
I mean, that's kind of gross, but to be fair, that's an extreme case. And I honestly haven't seen that very often.
I think you need to eat more sandwiches and watch them make it.
I mean, personally, like most of the places where I've gotten a sandwich, there's someone making the sandwich that is different than the person even working the till. And
I've just seen that, and I don't like it. I don't like when they touch the buttons on the credit card thing, and then I don't like that.
I mean,
they don't wash that.
I mean, technically, that's like their OSLA, whatever, the health. That's the acronym for their health inspection thing. They're actually really, really, really strict rules for all that stuff. It's just that maybe a lot of places break them or don't follow them.
I'm sure most places don't follow them. Or like food that's just
some of them are impossible to follow.
It's like sitting out for hours. In the US, you have to have a heat lamp. To make sure that it's warm enough that you're not going to have bacteria growth, versus here, you get an arancini that have just been there for I don't know how long. Again, I don't.
But that's the
turn
stuff.
This down. I've just accepted it, and maybe that's fine. Maybe Italians have developed different enzymes to deal with all this bacteria.
That's the stuff though that we think. I think I don't know. I'm not a health expert, but we got a lot of stuff like that in America, where we're convinced that that's why we must be cleaner and healthier and more hygienic. But our habits aren't actually cleaner and more hygienic,
Maybe. I don't know. We'll never be able to know, because nobody's going to do health studies between countries like that to see. I mean, it's a waste of time and resources. They're not going to do it. I just think that with that specific example, food preparation, they're not quite as careful. But you don't see people dropping dead of food poisoning.
Exactly. And you're going to tell Italians that they don't know about preparing food? Now you're really confused. You start saying that, when it comes to food, why are you're going to start telling Italians that their food, the way they prepare and store their food is not as good.
I'm not going to do that. That doesn't mean
no one should do that.
No one should do that, but Italians don't do everything with food. Italians they're not perfect with food. They make mistakes.
I mean, sure, but
have you seen their burgers?
Yeah.
They're out to lunch on those.
Yeah, their mistake there is yeah.
They put too much.
Don't get me started on them.
They put too much.
I didn't come here to talk trash about anybody. The burgers, yeah. I appreciate that Italians have started to appreciate the burger.
Yeah, me too. Younger Italians are very open-minded with.
But that's just the beginning. The first step is appreciating. Then you got everything else to learn still.
Sure.
A lot of people think that if they appreciate something, that just makes them automatically better at doing it. But so yeah, Italians are not perfect when it comes to food, but no one is. You certainly, when you're talking about, I don't know, it's just, I don't know. The last time I heard a story about a restaurant killing its customers was in my hometown, not anywhere in Italy. So, I think Italians, they understand, just you're gotta wash your hands. Yeah, but also cook the morel mushrooms,
Also what?
Cook the exotic mushrooms.
Yeah.
You can wash your hands all you want, and then you serve your customers raw mushrooms. You might have a problem if you
don't like raw mushrooms.
I mean, there's certain mushrooms you gotta cook.
Well, sure, but portobello mushrooms, you don't have to cook.
No, but there are ones that you do have to cook, and if you don't cook them, the people will die.
Who do you know that's serving uncooked toxin mushrooms?
Should I just say it?
I don't care.
I don't know, dude. I don't feel bad. Sushi in Bozeman, if that place still exists. I think that place still exists.
Give sushi. Just the name is I'm not sold on that one.
Link in the description.
Wow.
I don't know. Do they exist in it? I gotta find out if they still exist. I used to love that. I used to go there all the time. Then I heard about this happening. It's still got 4.5 stars. I don't know. I feel like if I as a musician, my job is to play music and like I play a song that makes people die, I quit. But like, I guess it's debatable. Well, let's end this podcast on that. Thanks for another episode. What's your podcast called?
Anthony in Italy or something like that.
That was another episode of Anthony in Italy.
No, wait, we're
podcast.
not done yet. No, I got some rapid fire questions. Mocha pot.
Yeah.
Do you wash it with soap?
No.
No.
Because apparently you're not supposed to. Like, it erodes the... I honestly, apparently it's just... Or it doesn't rinse properly. I don't even know.
I heard that it's because you want the flavors of the coffee to remain.
No, it's something to do with what the soap
does to the aluminum.
Yeah, and how it like doesn't, you can't properly rinse it and your coffee's going to taste like soap.
That's fair. I think from a
it's that.
hygienic standpoint, it's bull to not wash it. It's like, well, then let's just not wash any of our pots and pans then.
Yeah, I think you can, if you want to like wash it, use like vinegar. You can run a vinegar run with something like that. You want to or just hot water, clean hot water run.
Yeah.
Without any coffee. But
that's smart.
Just fill it with water and let it run.
Yeah. All right, pasta. What's better, spaghetti style pasta or like little noodles? Like twirling pasta or forking pasta?
It depends on the dish. Depends on what you're having.
I think the
100%.
forking pasta is the best.
How do you say that?
Except for spaghetti alle vongole.
I was gonna say
every other case.
You're not having vongole with like penne.
No. But everything else, the fork one's better.
There's a few other spaghetti ones that are really good. Amatriciana.
That can go both ways, though.
It can, but I really like amatriciana with spaghetti. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
It really, it depends.
What's your favorite Italian dish?
If you have like a Parmigiana is just incredible. I remember one time there was this, I'll never forget this, and I don't know why, but there was this girl that we met, this was like 15 years ago. First time I was in Puglia. And this girl and her boyfriend, and we met them. They were like friends of my bandmate. They came up. They did a road trip. So we met them. We were down in Puglia. Then we were back in like a month later, and her boyfriend did this tour or like did this road trip. And so they came by Perugia, and they're like, "Hey, we're on a road trip or whatever. Can we come for lunch?" We brought Parmigiana, and they had Parmigiana that they made, like that their grandma made or someone down there. And they just had it like in the car. They brought it and then heated it up at our house, and we had it for lunch. It's the best thing I've ever eaten. Yeah, that was so good. That was the best thing I've ever had. I'll never forget that. I don't know if that's my favorite meal. I don't know if that's my favorite actual Italian meal.
Memorable.
I'll never forget that. That was really one of the best things I've ever had. Yeah.
I feel like you could feed all of northern Italy by the cooking of the nonnas in southern Italy, because they make so much, and then they just send it up with their kids, and they go back to northern Italy, and they could just feed the top half of Italy. That's like the food never goes top down; it's always bottom up. Nobody's bringing food from the north to the south, because they'd be like, "What is this? Like polenta? I don't want this."
Maybe you can get some bolognese. Bring it down.
That's true. Who's better at steak, Americans or Italians?
Ooh, steak. Italians.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to generalize, yeah. That's a generalizing question.
The average steak in Italy, I would agree, is better than the average steak in the U.S.
I mean, the average person knows how to eat, definitely knows how to cook better than the average person in America. Pretty much anything besides a burger. And yeah, steak, the average Italian knows how to eat a steak better as well. Like, you're not going to get these Italians that are like, "I only eat my steak well done."
No. I wish they would put salt on it. Outside of Florence, I've never had a steak here that had enough salt. They want you to add it at the table.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to. You got to err on the side of not enough, and then the person can add a little bit of oil, salt. I mean, that's the thing. Any American that like feels like they kind of feel like triggered by that, if you're a steak purist, understand that in Italy, like they don't put crap on it. They don't season it. It's just steak. That you should like that, you know?
Yeah.
That should attract you.
The steak in Florence is one of my most memorable meals. The first time I had a bistecca alla Fiorentina.
Yeah,
like thick rock salt, and
I had an amazing. We had like a reunion of all the people from my friends from my original study abroad group, like 20 years ago. We had a 20-year reunion yesteryear, and we went out. One of them bought us dinner at the steak restaurant. It was so good. It was so good.
Okay, unsalted bread. Yes or no?
Yeah, totally. I'm down.
You're down?
Yeah. It's not that the salt isn't the problem with some of the bread around here.
What's the problem?
Too dry, a lot of it.
The unsalted bread is always dry.
Right, but I don't think that's because it's not salted. A lot of the times the unsalted bread is too dry, but it doesn't bother me that doesn't have salt. It bothers me that it's too dry. But
that's fair. I think the salt holds moisture, maybe.
Like I said, you can ask an Italian 5-year-old, they'll probably know the answer to this question. But me, I don't know.
That's the quote. What about figs on pizza?
I'm not a fan of the figs in general.
What about pear on pizza?
No, pear.
Let's just say no fruit on pizza.
Nah, I'm not going to say that.
Why? What other fruit goes on pizza?
I'll tell Italians get excited about that whole discussion, but I mean, I like pineapple on pizza. So whatever. I mean, I don't like it when you just take a pineapple, like those round pineapples from the can, and there's like.
That's what they think we do. Nobody does that.
Exactly.
It's like little bits.
Yeah, and usually it's probably someone's like caramelized them or done something. There's probably
some ham.
It's a proper. I don't know. Yeah. I think it's pretty good though.
I think it's good. I've even met Italians that have had it.
Oh yeah, I've met plenty of Italians there.
Italians in real life are not anything like what they are on social media.
No, exactly. The whole idea, like in social media, where it's like, but then there's the fruit and the salt and the salt and the sweet. No one cares. Like if you get honestly, it would be like if I'm with like a group of people and they start discussing this passionately, I'll just leave because dude, I've been through this so many times.
Yeah.
Enjoy your pizza. Yeah. You don't like it, don't order that. And just understand that probably if it comes to like a food combination, flavor combination, things like that, Italians probably gonna have a pretty good idea about it. Sometimes that can lead to people being a little bit close-minded when they come from a culture like that. As a musician, I'm probably guilty of that myself. Took me a long time to get into certain music because I just didn't give it a chance because maybe I thought I was good,
And now all you listen to is K-pop.
Yeah, exactly. I got Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. I've come around to her.
Come around a little bit.
Come around.
Hearing it.
Anything else you want to touch on? Anything you've just been wanting to get off your chest?
Just this microphone.
Yeah.
Link in the description.
Like and
subscribe.
Oh yeah, Nate will be. I'll tag. What should I put?
Cantner Brothers. That's my main country band, and then Spiral Slopes is the project with James. So those two things, yeah, and then just me,
and then him.
Okay, so and then Marla.
Marla, if you're in Perugia,
Marla and Pinturicchio.
Come to Marla. Come to Pinturicchio Cafe for like live music and open mic stuff. And
yeah. Thanks, dude.
Thank you. All right, we're good.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Nate.